all honor, infinite glory, and infinite praise to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakat Wadash.
Double honors to the elders apostles of Great Millstone, teaching us the truth, and peace and salutations to hopeful elect scattered abroad. And for the sincere Akim and Akwaf that are watching, Shalom to you, Shalom, Shalom.
Shalom, please, your brother, for Warriors Yahweh Shai, out in H-Town, your brother Malkia, and brother Ed Newell with me. All right, added again through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and Wada Abba Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wada Yahweh Shai. Putting the Rakat Wadash on us, the Holy Spirit, to do this lesson, hopefully edifying the case of the point, all right? So I'm gonna go to the brothers, Nahar, Shalom, Shalom. I'm gonna go to the brother Nahar's Instagram account. I saw like 3 videos that hit the spirit. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna touch on those for current events / various topics. Just real quick. All right. This one right here I want to get. All right. Yep. Fuck you. It's like that video, like, fuck you, Tony. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh. All right, so what you saw there is pretty much what? Sedition among men. They shall not regard their kings or princes. They shall take a course into their own power. Okay? So we don't let the brother know and read it. You start at verse 14. From 14 to 16. You were 14. Yeah, 14. But before brother Noam get it, I'm gonna read what brother Nahar put on here for the caption, the comment board, whatever you call it. All right, it says overnight, Los Angeles, LAPD attempt to arrest pro-baby killer rioters, but fail as they got mobbed by thug rioters who lynched the arrested thug from LAPD officers. Sweet. All right. So all right. So we're gonna let the scripture speak for itself, okay?
Right. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwelleth therein. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and the one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands.
I'm gonna get 14, 15 in the LSP version, okay? Woe, destruction to the world and those who dwell therein. So pretty much everyone that's here on planet Earth that's not in the tabernacle of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, whose names are not written in the book of life, all right? Woe, destruction to the world and those that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draws near, and nation will rise up against nation to battle with weapons in their hands. And this is the point right here, verse 16. You got it up.
This is verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
And the LSV version says, for there will be sedition among men, and waxing strong one against another. They will not regard their king nor the chief of their great ones and their might. All right, and that's what we're seeing right here. You have the citizens, you can say, that are rising up against their kings and their princes. And just look at these the police officers, the LAPD officers as the princes, right? And the citizens over there are taking the course into their own actions. Okay, all right. They're not going by the laws, the code, over there over there in LA. All right, and we're going to see this kind of events happening at a much broader scale, right? It's going to go from this to pretty much that sedition is going to be like a fucking civil war. It's going to be all throughout Babylon. All right. So we got that. You can actually get that. The Egyptians against the Egyptians. You can type in the phone. All right. So while the brother's looking for that, I'll just let it play again. Jake got like that. Attention span. All right, so the brother got it. All right, you got it when you're ready.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, cities against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
And that's what we're seeing. That's what you're pretty much seeing right here in this video too. Not only you're seeing that sedition among men, invading one another, right? But you're also seeing Egyptians against the Egyptians. You're seeing Babylonians going against Babylonians. Okay, you're seeing Americans going against Americans. All right, and that's going to eventually grow and lead to a civil war. All right, now you can read it again.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
All right, and we're seeing that right now too on a much larger scale. You got actual kingdom nations going against each other at the moment, right? And then on a smaller scale, you have the people of the nation going there. Because mind you, a nation is a people before the place. All right. So we're gonna move on to the next video that the brother Nahara got on his Instagram account. We'll go with this one right here, the famine. All right. And you can get that evil out of the famine. So we're in second edit. You got it? You can't. So this is going on over in Moab, the land of Moab, the so-called Chinese. All right, and what's going on over there is definitely going to happen over here soon. So you got
this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 5, verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you. And I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread.
So the evil arrows of the famine, the evil arrows of shortages, all right, is already here. And then also say what? That our power, Yahweh shall increase it. Okay, he's going to increase the shortages of food, clean water, or just water in general, because most of the water here is fucking engineered, so it's not really clean. But, so the shortages of food, water, medicine, no goods, things that society need in order to operate, to run. All right, and you see that in China right now, and it's at the point where it's actually affecting them. It's causing them to go to what? The Moabites rising up against the Moabites. All right, you got the nations going against one another. All right, and you can get that get a precept that goes with that. In sown places appear unsown, to the second edge of the foot. Sown places appear unsown. Oh, yeah, you got it.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty.
So the storehouses are also known as warehouses, like the big ones, right? Even grocery stores will have like their own warehouse at the back of the store, right? They'll get some stuff and put it out on the sales store, right? Even that's going to be suddenly empty, all right? You know, places where you can store goods, okay? All right, that's going to be suddenly empty, and we can see that it's growing, is getting there, is making its way there, because the shortage is increasing. Okay, so now that we read those two precepts, let's play the video again so you can like see like, okay, yo, the scriptures is speaking loud and clear. All right. You see right how I'm not sure if you see it on your end. Hold on. Sometimes. Can you see it? Hold on. Trying to see if they can see it on their end. But you see how it's like so boom. Look at it. It's like damn it. Right? Got the sown places up here unsown. Right? The evil arrows of famine is increasing. The evil arrows of shortages. All right. And you can see that at some point it's going to cause people to do what? There shall be sedition among people. They shall invade one another. All right. You might as well get that. What it says, they shall invade one another for the lack of bread. Just straight to the point. This pretty much straight to the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Was the next verse 19? What I'm thinking? Yeah. You can get verse 19.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of lack of bread and great tribulation.
So you see what's going on in China right now? And this, I saw another video that it takes place like, you know, this setting. It's probably the same video. It's just someone else probably recorded from a different angle. But these Moabites are fighting in there. They're really fighting. You got one Chinese, you got another Chinese in the chokehold, right? Yo, it's getting physical, right? And the brother just read it, right? But I'm gonna read it in the LSB version. A man will have no pity upon his neighbor, but will make an assault on their houses with the sword. You know, modern day weapons would be, you know, guns, rifles, and stuff like that, right? Esau's, Glocks and shit like that, right? And plunder their goods because of the lack of bread, because of the famine, right? Of the shortages, and for great suffering. All right, because of the shortages of being able to, because of the famine, that's going to cause people to be in a state of suffering, of tribulation, right? And they're going to start invading one another. They're not going to have pity for each other. All right. Why? Because get that the love of many shall wax cold. All right, the love of many shall wax cold, because when you read earlier, with the first video, when you read 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 16 in the LSV version, it says, and waxing strong, right? But the love of many is waxing cold. All right. Yeah.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound,
so iniquity, wickedness, okay?
The love of many shall wax cold.
So because wickedness is increasing, the love of many is going to wax cold for one another, right? Because what? We're in a time of hate. Get that? Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 8. Just put love of many. Yep, right there, first one. No, like it. Look for one. The time of love, time of hate. Yep, first one. Yep, you got it.
Now, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3 and verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace.
So we can see it clearly through the spirit of power, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Through these words, through the scriptures and videos, right? That we are literally in a time of hate. We're in a time of wickedness is increasing so dramatically that it's causing people to not have that tender love for one another. They have that evil eye for one another. All right. Why? Because people are experiencing the lack of bread. They're experiencing tribulation. They're experiencing great suffering. Okay. Oh, come on, yeah, get that. Just you can just type in "friends shall fight as enemies."
Yeah.
And it pop up, and then we'll get the next video. All right, we'll get one more precept, and then we'll move on to the next video, and then we'll close out. There's one more that caught my attention. Please, whenever you got it, you can read out.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 24. At that time shall friends fight one another against one another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. So, you're going like in the video I saw before. You have Moabites fighting each other, putting each other in the chokehold, grabbing each other, getting very physical, being very carnal, right? So it's going to come to a point where here in Babylon, aka America, you're going to have those who are so-called friends, family, loved ones, right? They're going to go from being family to being enemies, right? Because of what? Lack of bread, because of great suffering, right? Because of what? The love of many is waxing cold, paraphrasing, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold, because wickedness is fucking growing every damn day. All right, that's why we saw in the first clip from Brother Nahar's YouTube channel. I said YouTube channel, Instagram. What happened in fucking Los Angeles? You got people, going against their police officers. All right, they taking the court into their own action because wickedness is growing. All right, so, we just want to get straight to the point with that. I just want to hit those videos that hit the spirit. Hope Brother Nahar, you don't mind. All right. The water for tuning in, Akim. The water for tuning in. We about to close out. All right, Lord, it was edifying. Let us bless the name of our power and give the much due all praises, honor, and glory to the name of our power. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Paul Halaya.
Paul Halaya.
La Banawa.
La Banawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Bahashim.
Bahashim.
Warkak Wadash.
Warkak Wadash.
All right, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who we will teach you of. Much due respect to the sincere Aki who are laboring and work. Shalom to you believers. To the Aki who are Aqua, to be brothers and sisters, to be proud to the truth. All right. DTA. Above the ball soon. Kwame Asharala. All right. On to the next lesson. Lord.
Shalom.